Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a monster along the defensive line I'd like you guys to meet. His name is Wy'Kevious Thomas, defensive lineman out of South Alabama. Nice to have you today, sir.
Yes, sir, man. I'm glad to be here, man.
Want to get an opportunity to get to know you and your story. We're looking at really a beast, a good, solid, reliable nose tackle who's been an excellent competitor for South Alabama for several seasons. Want to talk about you and your journey, dude. So go ahead and start us out and let us know where you're from.
I'm originally from Americus, Georgia, but I went to high school in Riverdale, Georgia, at Riverdale High School, and I came down to South at 2019 and played all 6 years there until this past season.
So 6 years. This is the new norm that we have in college football. We have guys who
hmm
sticking around. Obviously, with the pandemic season, had an opportunity to come back, solidify your draft stock, and showcase yourself once again for NFL scouts. Um, Obviously, wanted to let people know you go by nickname of Bubba. So let's utilize that as best we can. So, Bubba, go ahead and talk to me a little bit about you as a football player early on. How long have you played this game?
I've been playing football since I was six, so I've been playing a long time.
So
Um,
when you were 6 years old, I mean, I'm guessing they were, making you like play against guys who were like 10.
oh no, I mean I still play with my age group. It's just I played in the trenches all my life, O line, D line, so
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I
yeah.
kid a little bit because I mean, typically bigger guys like they end up getting bumped up to
Oh yeah, yes sir.
play with, guys more or less their same size. But again, talking about you as an athlete, been in the trenches your whole life, dude. And along with that, you played defensive line for Riverdale High School there in Georgia. Um, Talk about the early days of you in high school, man. What do you remember most about your time there?
Um, I mean, high school was definitely fun, kind of up and down journey with the coaches change, but my last year kind of with that last coach, he really taught me that football is really bigger than me, and I'm glad that I had that experience in high school rather than college or the pros or so that was great, for
Cool.
getting me to understand that really football is bigger than me and that I need football and that football don't need me and that it's gonna continue with or without me. So.
Well, obviously, very early on, learning a little bit of maturity that has really helped you along the way.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so, coming out of high school, what led you to South Alabama? Talk about the recruiting and why you ultimately ended up there.
Well, I went down to South, on my official, the coaches treated me good. They came into my high school and, came and saw me, did I passed the eye test stuff. And one of the main reasons was going down to South was, they first, second, and third string was all seniors as I was coming in. So I knew that I wouldn't have to wait too long until I, earn my playing time. So, which is the main thing. And, going to school, you have to consider that because the goal is to play and to be on the field. So.
Yeah. So, come in 2019, your red shirt, your first year.
Mhm.
You eventually see the field, and bro, you have been very successful along the way. One of the things that I really wanted to highlight about you as a prospect is we're looking at a guy who has been very durable, 50 career starts throughout his college journey. Um, Talk to me a little bit about that, man. I mean, how does a guy on the interior who is gritty, gets in regular fights with people in the trenches. How does he come away unscathed?
It's honestly God and technique. You go out and just be technical sound and have great effort, fly around and make it out of the game safely. So
Yeah, I
praying
mean,
that that continues to be like that.
you were able to do that. When I'm looking at you as a prospect, I'm looking at a guy who uh, is going to end up being again probably like that nose tackle at the next level as well. You're very efficient at it at South Alabama, so why should I move you anywhere else? Of course, fairly decent size to you. You were looking at a guy who's got a wingspan of over 80 inches, so that certainly helps you be that guy there in the middle who can be the space eater. Talk about you as a player. Can you kind of describe you and your style?
So I mean, I'm definitely a physical style player that that leans on stopping the run first, and that's the main thing. I lean on dominating the run, and then working my pass rush, the chances, opportunities that I get from pass rushing off of that. So which is really not many, but that's my goal. Is to continue to improve my pass rushing abilities. But I'm pretty, my run defense is pretty solid.
So yeah, first and foremost, stopping the run. A lot of great things about you as a player, a guy who's very disciplined with his pad level, with his hand placement. Very strong guy there, who's able to push the pocket too. So that certainly helps as well. Growing up there in Georgia, I don't know perhaps who was your who you were a big fan of growing up, but who would you maybe say you were growing up, maybe trying to idolize? I don't
Um,
know, probably Aaron Donald, like everybody else.
nah, it was Vince Wilford.
So Vince,
Yeah.
Vince is a little bit more old school. Talk about that
hmm
a little bit
I
more.
mean, that's my old high school coach. He always said, you remind me of Vince. So growing up, I just always looked at his film and stuff, and I was a big defensive tackle. So it kind of reminded me of of how I could get to, or what I could possibly put on film or get to looking like.
Well, I mean, hey, we obviously utilize guys like you in the NFL. Big physical, Vince Wilfork-esque sort of presence. So, I mean, it's
Yes,
kind of
sir.
nice to obviously, model your game after one of the greats at your position. Um, I talked about some of your experience, which is really phenomenal. 50 career starts. Generally speaking, I believe you've mainly played nose tackle, 0-1 sort. Talk about how you've been utilized in certain schemes there at South Alabama.
I mean, definitely, I'm all right. So, say for instance, we had like our pluggers. We'll have like a linebacker that come down to fit the A gaps. The attention from the lineman would be so drawn on me that sometimes they wouldn't pick up our pluggers, or just stuff like that, and or holding on to double teams to allow somebody else to go and produce, or just things like that. Or when they did single block me, there's now it's time for me to produce because yeah. So
Well, sometimes it is the case, Bub. I mean, when you obviously, you play your role as the guy who is taking on the double team so that
mhm,
like maybe you're not the guy with all the gaudy stats, but there are some dudes around you who are making a lot of great plays.
right.
Talk about that defense, man, and some of the pieces around you.
I mean, it's definitely a great defense. From my experience with it, starting out from 21. When actually that 2021 season, I was mainly three tech. That was the year that I had 49 tackles. I was mainly three tech there. So, but for the rest of the years, I kind of held down a nose roll. But it's been a great defense. It allows you to do a little movement. You're not really just eating gaps up at all times. Or just being stout in the gap. It allows you to have a little fun. And got a couple twists or a couple run stunts that's new to the game, and it is working. And I feel like the stunts and the what we do on defense allows our offense to, they can't fully like key in on a certain player to try to eliminate that certain player because they don't know what's coming at them. So I feel like that helped us out with within the defense, especially this last year with being more younger guys, that guys that's getting the opportunity to step up and actually be on the field now. So it was definitely a good experience being in a great defense.
Well, Bubba, I didn't want to limit you. I mean, again, if you have played some three tech, I mean, certainly you can be utilized as a three
Oh
tech
yeah,
at the next
yes sir.
level. In a and again, I'm more so looking at you, as a guy who can play, the inside defensive lineman positions, where you are again, dominating the run, and utilizing your strengths to the best of your ability.
Yes sir.
Let's talk about some of these, people. Um, I know you hyped up that defense a little bit, but bro, drop some names. Drop some names of some of those people that you've played alongside. I don't know, most impressive teammates you've had along the way.
So I had Jamie Sheriff, he's with the Seahawks now, the defense end. I had my roommate Maurice Strong. I played next to him all this past year, and it was great because we always talked about us lining up beside each other for these past years, and it was great doing that. Charles Coleman was another good D tackle. Quinn Winfront was the Wolf that had almost 100 tackles playing back there behind us. It was great playing with guys like that. Trey Kaiser. James Miller, just great linebackers, just coming down to linebackers that's good and experienced enough to cover you up when you want to try, want to get a little nasty out there. So,
Gotcha. Let's
yes,
go ahead
sir.
and talk about this past season. You guys ended up going 7-6. Maybe
Mhm.
not exactly the win-loss record you guys wanted,
Yes,
but
sir.
did get to a bowl game, which is nice, and you won
Yes,
that one. I do
sir.
want to talk about that, but before that game, I wanted to talk about your guys' game against Troy. That was one game where you yourself, you were very dominant there. Ended up with a few great tackles in that game.
Yes,
Talk to me
sir.
about that matchup because I mean I know that's a great rivalry that you guys have.
I mean, that matchup means a lot. Coming home with that belt for my last year is just, it was just a great feeling. Being that I never beat them being at South. So, that was just something that I wish all my fellow teammates could experience with me. That was definitely a crazy rival. Like I never personally seen a belt with my own eyes, so just holding the belt was just a different feeling.
All right.
But
Is there maybe a particular play that you can, kind of look back on and remember from that matchup? I mean, again, winning that matchup 25-9, ultimately, you guys seemingly dominated that game.
yes, sir. The one I remember most is the QB hit that led to the interception. So that was a pretty game changer moment for real. And yeah, it just was great coming home with that dub with Troy. That's with them being the standard barrier of that
Nice.
rival. So it
Um,
was just a
uh,
great feeling.
Also want to talk about the matchup against Western Michigan. You guys were able to, go toe to toe with them and come out with a victory, 30-23, ultimately in that game. A
So,
lot of people were looking at maybe that offensive line there at Western
hmm
as a very solid group. A lot of guys making all conference, making all of these all-star events and such. But you guys were able to go out there and deliver, you yourself doing that as too. So talk about that matchup. Maybe, I don't know, the idea of coming in as perhaps an underdog.
I mean, yeah, I definitely like that was the main thing, just coming in, just hungry, just hearing so much about how good the players are. My coaches in my ear, so I'm just like, at the end of the day, they got to put on a helmet just like I got to put on. So we'll really see it. We'll see who's better. So starting out that game, I feel like they came out and really tried to impose their will. They was getting pretty good movement on the line starting out, but once we settled in and it became a good game. Very competitive for me because like I said, I knew who I was going against. That center and that guard, they was some pretty good players. So but just looking them in their eyes, I thought I'd make a player or two just hey dog, what I'm saying,
Is
I'm good too.
is definitely good on good. I mean, it's a great
Oh
solid
yeah,
matchup. I mean, certainly a game to go back on and kind of, you know, see how you match up against these guys who a lot of people might have high on their lists.
oh yeah.
I feel like you yourself maybe a bit underrated by some people. And so we kind of need to smack some people around and let them know that you're a good, solid prospect in this draft.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you as as a prospect, dude. You start out actually having an opportunity at an all-star event, which you end up going down to the Tropical Bowl and showcasing your efforts there. Uh, Talk about your time spent there, and just maybe some of the relationships you were able to build during your time
But yeah, I mean, Tropical Bowl, it definitely was a great experience. Just like you said, good on good. Everybody had to produce at a certain level to be able to even go down and get an opportunity like that. So it was definitely great. And as far as the players and the coaches, you always gonna meet somebody new that knows somebody that you know from either transfer portal or from high school or something. So it was we just connecting left and right with a bunch of different players, and it was fun. Even after the competition side of it, at the end of the day, dog, we still play football. We go back to the hotel, still have fun, chop it up, and it was definitely a great experience. Other than it rained so bad on game day, other than that, it still was fun.
there? Those things happen, though. I mean, that's
Oh
normal.
yeah, oh yeah,
So,
100%.
but how were the interviews? I mean, I'm pretty sure you sat down with some NFL teams, maybe talked to some scouts. How did that work for you?
I mean, it was great. I came down a little late on the first day, so I ended up having to knock out, a good bit of interviews that night. So it was great. I think I ended up maybe doing a total of 15, 16 interviews. So it was definitely a great experience.
Good solid number. I mean, again,
Oh
we're
yeah,
talking about half the NFL that you had a
that's right.
chance to talk to. I mean, and I'm pretty sure you're going to hit up the other half at your
Yeah.
pro day here in about a week. Let's talk about how you're working towards that. Where have you been training and getting yourself right as you're
I,
preparing for pro day?
yeah, so I've been training with Lily at DSA Sports Performance since January. So we've been grinding since January 6th, man.
Great. And
Been great work.
how's that pro day going to work, man? How's it going to look when you
Oh,
go out?
I'm going. I feel pretty comfortable with everything. So with that adrenaline, with the technique and training that I've been doing, I feel pretty comfortable. I should get some great numbers.
Can you, I don't know, maybe give me a teaser as to some of those numbers? I mean, I'm not insinuating that you're going to run some crazy number like a 4.8 or something, but I mean,
So
like,
we,
how about, I don't know, you got to have a good solid bench, right?
oh yeah, yeah. So I can I tested 25 there. So hopefully, with a little adrenaline, we can crack that 29, 30. So,
I mean, that's certainly solid. I mean, I knew that was something that we should get a relatively decent number there for you. So,
oh yeah. So
but besides that, is there any other drill that you're very excited about doing?
I mean the most of the agility drills, the 5, 10, 5s, the L drills, like I feel pretty comfortable with it, especially with the numbers that I've gotten recently. So, I'm ready to put it on film.
So, how's the mentality right now of you approaching your pro day as a dude who is a legitimate NFL prospect? I mean, I know you've had a long college journey, 6 years there at South Alabama, uh, and now we're on the cusp of you knocking on the door, going to be in some training camp somewhere here very soon. What's going on up here?
I mean, it feel like this is the most important moment of my life. Is the work that's being put in, training 3 times a day is just, you thought you worked hard till you got when you was in school, but until you finna get to come out to this stretch here, and this shows you this a whole different level of hard work. It shows that you're capable of doing this type of hard work. And I go back and tell some of my old college buddies that like, man, you'll be surprised what your body can adjust to or adapt to once you really just go out and do it. But I was telling them this is the most work that I never did in my life right here.
I mean, it's a lot different as a
Yeah,
high school guy versus a guy who's completed his college years and is now pretty much has the professional outlook now
mm,
on the position, on the game, of course. So, We're looking at you as a prospect now. I mean, a guy who I think could potentially be drafted. I mean, let's not sell you short, bro. I mean, you have
Okay.
done a whole lot there for South Alabama, putting yourself in a good position. We're looking at a good solid nose tackle who could be used in other facets as well. Any other aspect about your game that you feel separates you?
I mean, mainly just mainly the run defense. Like I said, like, I feel like I'm a definitely a pretty solid run defender and with the abilities to pass rush as well because I just wasn't put in the best positions to pass rush or show my pass rush abilities. Or like I said, I've always been either like the shit guy or the double team guy. So that's which is hey, I embrace my role, so I don't complain about it.
Gotcha. I do want to get a chance to meet this guy off the football field a little bit. So, who is this Wy'Kevious Bubba Thomas? Talk to me a little bit about who you are, maybe what you're into, hobbies, fun facts, special talents. Talk to me.
I mean, I like to ride four wheelers. I like to fish. I got a son. I hang out with my son a lot. I like to work on cars. Um, I breed dogs. So I mean, I got my hands in a little bit everywhere. And then
All right.
on during the season or during camp when we do get a little time, I'll play the game for a little bit. But with all the other things going on, I have my hands in
And you
a
said
little bit
you
everywhere.
said you're a father these days?
Yes, sir. I got a 5 year old.
Cool. I want to talk about a couple quick things just for fun. So you had mentioned you get into cars a little bit. Do you perhaps have a dream car that you'd love to own one day?
I mean, well, no, not necessarily a dream car that I would want to own. I would want to have a nice lineup of cars, like rare cars, unique cars, old schools, whatever. Just a bunch
Do
of
you want to
cars.
have
Cause
like a Jay Leno type collection? Is that what we're
I
talking
don't want
about?
to go I don't want to have nothing too crazy, but yeah, definitely a nice little lineup that
Yeah,
I can say that I worked on that myself. You know.
that sounds nice.
Mhm.
You had mentioned again you're a father of a 5 year old. I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit as a dad. I'm pretty sure you sit down, maybe perhaps I don't know, watch little cartoons with him. So uh, take me into the mindset of maybe perhaps a younger you. What was the cartoon that you grew up watching, and what are you watching with your son these days?
So I grew up watching Tom and Jerry. I was different. So, but he'll watch a little Phineas and Ferb, but mainly his main thing is he loves dinosaurs. So if there's anything with a dinosaur on TV, like he probably have every dinosaur that I never seen in the store. So he literally have all of them. So he's a
All right.
dinosaur fanatic.
I remember a little bit of Dinosaur Train when my kid was in preschool.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's forever ago, but at least for me,
100%.
I'm pretty sure it's still on TV somewhere.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Uh, I don't know. Any other interesting fun facts about you before we wrap things up? I mean, anything at all?
I mean, that's pretty much it. Just,
Okay.
hard work.
Again, from Riverdale, Georgia. I'm not maybe as sure about the geography there, so I'm not exactly sure where Riverdale is, but talk to me about your hometown.
Riverdale it definitely is it's getting better. It's like my high school now is I wouldn't say like it was starting out. It was a little, you will hear a few things, but now it's definitely gotten way better with school and the sports and stuff and things they do for the community. Like they got a lot of like rec ball sports and stuff. During the holidays, they throw a lot of events at the town center, whether it's shows or just stuff to get the kids around. Halloween, they give out treats and stuff and candies at the town center. Just do a lot of stuff for the kids around the community. And like I said, I'm still here, so it's been
Hey,
good to me.
obviously, it created one of the better defensive linemen that we've seen come out of South Alabama. Here in recent memory. Uh, Obviously, at a point now where need to wrap up our time, bro. I mean, you obviously want to, get yourself to the dance, get yourself to the NFL here very soon, get that
Yes, sir.
opportunity. As we close up shop, any final thoughts that you want to give to maybe perhaps any doubters about you and your overall ability at the next level? What separates you, and what are you able to bring to any team in the NFL?
Well, just gonna be I'm gonna be a hardworking, dependable guy that's gonna come in and do what you ask of him. That's gonna produce, and I'm gonna find a way. Just like I did in high school. I had doubters then, and a lot of doubters then came back knocking at the door after I started producing and stuff. So it's I'll show them again.
Gotcha. Again, a very dependable player throughout his time in college. 50 career starts. Been an all conference athlete as well, and might hear his name called in this upcoming draft. I want to wish you all the best moving forward. Okay, bud.
And yes, sir. I surely appreciate you.
Sure thing. Once again, Wy'Kevious Thomas, defensive lineman out of South Alabama. Check him out.